So now that we're becoming experts on our numbers, we need to be able to express ourselves in different ways. And we do that by thinking about the forms. So we have four traditional ones that we think of a lot. Standard form, expanded form, unit form, and word form. So I'm just going to walk you through an example of each. So the basic one is what we call standard form. And when you're asked to write a number in standard form, that's just writing the number with just digits, right? So it's just using digits. For example, 25.63, right? Standard form, very straightforward, just the digits. The next one is expanded form. Expanded form is when we're going to take those digits and spread them out and use the place value too. So we're going to use the digits and place value. So this 2 we can write as 2 times 10. 10 because it's in the tenths place. This 5 we can write as 5 times 1. 1 because it's in the ones place. Okay, and I'm putting them in parentheses because I'm saying that's what that 2 is worth by itself, and we're adding it to the other pieces here. That 6 is going to be 6 times, well, it's in the tenths place, so I'm going to times it by a tenth. And then that last one is 3 times 1/100th. Now, the fractional or the decimal numbers can be written either as a decimal or as a fraction, because I can write 1/10 also as 1/10, and I can write 1/100th also as 1/100th. So I can do 6 times 1/10, and I can also do 3 times 1/100th. And that will work as well. This one is called expanded form with decimals. This is your expanded form with fractions, where you would have your 2 times 10 and 5 times 1, but then you could also use the fractional piece. Your next one that's kind of similar is unit form. Unit form also uses the digits, and you look at the place value because it helps tell you what each number is worth. So this 2, I'm saying I have 2 tens. This 5, I have 5 ones. So unit form is almost like a merge between expanded form and word form. You're keeping the numbers the same as what they are written, but then you're writing what they are worth. I have 6 tenths, and I have 3 hundredths. Okay, so that's unit form. Your last one is word form. Now, word form is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to write the word. So when I read this number, you can read it as 25.63. That's not the official formal way of reading it. You would read it as 25 and 63 hundredths. I'm calling it hundredths because my 3 is in the hundredths place. That's how I'd write it out. I would write it as 25, and means decimal, 63, but I need my unit, and because my number ends in the hundredths place, it's going to be 63 hundredths. So remember that when you're deciding on your unit for your word form, you're going to look at what place value your number lands in. So because this 3 is in the hundredths place, that's why it's 25 and 63 hundredths. If it was just the 6, I would end with tenths, because that 6 is in the tenths place. Know that you can also not use the and you could have said 2,563 hundredths. So there's lots of ways when you're talking about number forms of how to correctly identify them, but these are going to be your 4 main ones. Standard form, just using digits. Expanded form, where you're using the digits and you're saying the place value of each one, the times the 10, times the 1, times the 1/10, times the 100th. Unit form is what each one is worth, so like the 2 copies of the 10, the 5 ones, 6 tenths, 3 hundredths, and then your last one is your word form, where you're just reading the number and then writing down what you've said. 25 and, decimal is and, 63, because it's 63 hundredths. So you almost read it as 2 separate numbers that go around the decimal. 25 is the first section and represents the decimal, and then you read the second number, it's 63, and it's hundredths because that 3 is in the hundredths place.